Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Approval. Give her recognition for trying. The process of recognizing something or someone by remembering. A politician whose recall of names was as remarkable as his recognition of faces. The state or quality of being recognized or acknowledged. The partners were delighted with the recognition of their work. Coming to understand something clearly and distinctly. A sudden recognition of the problem he faced. An acceptance, as of a claim, as true and valid. The recognition of the Rio Grande as a boundary between Mexico and the United States. Biology. The ability of one molecule to attach to another molecule that has a complementary shape. Molecular recognition drives all of biology. For instance, hormone and receptor or antibody-antigen interactions are the organization of molecules into larger biologically active entities. Designation by the chair granting a person the right to speak in a deliberative body. He was unable to make his motion because he couldn't get recognition by the chairman. The explicit and formal acknowledgment of a government or of the national independence of a country. Territorial disputes were resolved in Guatemala's recognition of Belize in 1991. A short note recognizing a source of information or of a quoted passage. Ascribe an achievement to. She was not properly credited in the program. An accounting entry acknowledging income or capital items. An estimate, based on previous dealings, of a person's or an organization's ability to fulfill their financial commitments. Approval. He was given credit for his work. Arrangement for deferred payment for goods and services. Recognition by a college or university that a course of studies has been successfully completed, typically measured in semester hours. Accounting. Enter as credit. We credit your account with $100. An entry on a list of persons who contributed to a film or written work. The credits were given at the end of the film. Give someone credit for something. We credited her for saving our jobs. Have trust in. Trust in the truth or veracity of. Money available for a client to borrow. Used in the phrase, to your credit, in order to indicate an achievement deserving praise. She already had several performances to her credit. The act of designating or identifying something. The process of recognizing something or someone by remembering. Evidence of identity. Something that identifies a person or thing. The attribution to yourself, consciously or unconsciously, of the characteristics of another person, or group of persons. The condition of having the identity, of a person or object, established. The thief's identification was followed quickly by his arrest. A statement acknowledging something or someone. The state or quality of being recognized or acknowledged. She seems to avoid much in the way of recognition or acknowledgement of feminist work prior to her own. A short note recognizing a source of information or of a quoted passage. The acknowledgements are usually printed at the front of a book. A statement acknowledging something or someone. She must have seen him but she gave no sign of acknowledgement. The state or quality of being recognized or acknowledged. Something that is made real or concrete. Making real or giving the appearance of reality. The completion or enrichment of a piece of music left sparsely notated by a composer. A sale in order to obtain money, as a sale of stock or a sale of the estate of a bankrupt person, or the money so obtained. A musical composition that has been completed or enriched by someone other than the composer. Coming to understand something clearly and distinctly. Something that is made real or concrete. The victory was the realization of a whole year's work. Making real or giving the appearance of reality. The completion or enrichment of a piece of music left sparsely notated by a composer. A sale in order to obtain money, as a sale of stock or a sale of the estate of a bankrupt person, or the money so obtained. A musical composition that has been completed or enriched by someone other than the composer. Coming to understand something clearly and distinctly. A growing realization of the risk involved. The formal act of approving. His decision merited the approval of any sensible person. Acceptance as satisfactory. He bought it on approval. A message expressing a favorable opinion. Words of approval seldom passed his lips. A feeling of liking something or someone good. Although she fussed at them, she secretly viewed all her children with approval. A message expressing a favorable opinion. An official award, as for bravery or service, usually given as formal public statement. The power of retaining and recalling past experience. He had a good memory when he was younger. An electronic memory device. A memory and the CPU form the central part of a computer to which peripherals are attached. The cognitive processes whereby past experience is remembered. He can do it from memory. Something that is remembered. Search as he would, the memory was lost. The area of cognitive psychology that studies memory processes. He taught a graduate course on learning and memory. The cognitive processes whereby past experience is remembered. He enjoyed remembering his father. The mental attitude that something is believable and should be accepted as true. Acceptance of Newtonian mechanics was unquestioned for 200 years. A disposition to tolerate or accept people or situations. Banking. A time draft drawn on and accepted by a bank. The act of accepting with approval, favorable reception. The proposal found wide acceptance. Contract law. Words signifying consent to the terms of an offer, thereby creating a contract. The act of taking something that is offered. Her acceptance of the gift encouraged him. The state of being acceptable and accepted. Torn jeans received no acceptance at the country club. The statement, oral or written, of an exchange of promises. There was an understanding between management and the workers. The capacity for rational thought or inference or discrimination. An inclination to support or be loyal to or to agree with an opinion. I knew I could count on his understanding. The cognitive condition of someone who understands. He has virtually no understanding of social cause and effect. Characterized by understanding based on comprehension and discernment and empathy. An understanding friend. Perception of that which is obscure. The trait of judging wisely and objectively. A man of discernment. Delicate discrimination, especially of aesthetic values. The mental ability to understand and discriminate between relations. The cognitive condition of someone who understands. Fearful expectation or anticipation. The student looked around the examination room with apprehension. Painful expectation. The act of apprehending, especially apprehending a criminal. The cognitive condition of someone who understands. Get the meaning of something. The cognitive condition of someone who understands. A kind of sideboard or buffet. The mental attitude that something is believable and should be accepted as true. He gave credence to the gossip. Biology. A natural phenomenon involving living plants and animals. Identifying word or words by which someone or something is called and classified or distinguished from others. The act of designating or identifying something. The act of putting a person into a non-elective position. The act of putting a person into a non-elective position. Inclined to or serving for the giving of names. The verbal act of naming. The part he failed was the naming of state capitals. A duty that you are assigned to perform, especially in the armed forces. The act of distributing something to designated places or persons. The first task is the assignment of an address to each datum. The act of putting a person into a non-elective position. Law. A transfer of property by deed of conveyance. An undertaking that you have been assigned to do, as by an instructor. The instrument by which a claim or right or interest or property is transferred from one person to another. The act of putting a person into a non-elective position. The appointment had to be approved by the whole committee. Usually in the plural, furnishings and equipment, especially for a ship or hotel. A person who is appointed to a job or position. A meeting arranged in advance. Law. The act of disposing of property by virtue of the power of appointment. She allocated part of the trust to her church by appointment. The job to which you were, or hope to be, appointed. He applied for an appointment in the Treasury. Wisdom in the management of public affairs. Negotiation between nations. Subtly skillful handling of a situation. Negotiation between nations. A structure erected to commemorate persons or events. A recognition of meritorious service. A written statement of facts submitted in conjunction with a petition to an authority. A ceremony to honor the memory of someone or something. A recognition of meritorious service. Enthusiastic recognition, especially one accompanied by loud applause. The ability to recall past occurrences. A recognition of meritorious service. Usually plural, an acknowledgment or expression of goodwill, especially on meeting. An act of honor or courteous recognition. Word of greeting used to begin a letter. Propose a toast to. An act of honor or courteous recognition. A musical salute to the composer on his birthday. Recognize with a gesture prescribed by a military regulation. Assume a prescribed position. When the officers show up, the soldiers have to salute. A formal military gesture of respect. An act of greeting with friendly words and gestures like bowing or lifting the hat. Become noticeable. A terrible stench saluted our nostrils. Express commendation of. I salute your courage. Greet in a friendly way. I meet this man every day on my way to work and he salutes me. Honor with a military ceremony, as when honoring dead soldiers. Enthusiastic recognition, especially one accompanied by loud applause.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.